I had both albums,
My
baby.
second album.
No, that's Rurouni Kenshin.
That's it.
Nerd On.
Welcome, everyone, to Nerd on the Podcast You Didn't Need But Deserve, where all levels of nerd are welcome. This episode,
Those who are tone deaf.
and those who are toned to everyone is welcome, all levels.
The business, just to get that out of the way, this episode is brought to you in part by our patrons over at Patreon.
Day
Josh is
one
back.
fam.
Josh is back.
Josh is back.
Reclaimed his throne.
Thank you for supporting the show. If you'd like to see our stuff, you can go to our YouTube channel for IRL, and we have gaming news along with our weekly Twitch streams.
Twitchy.
Wow.
If this is your first time tuning in and you'd like more
Stringy
content,
strings.
bonus episodes, photos, a direct link to chat with us, check out Patreon as well.
Yes, please. And we should probably intro who's talking right now. I'm Caitlin.
I'm Josh.
Sorry, I don't know which direction you were going. Ali.
Corey.
Tom.
Wow.
I wanted to say it at the same time like you guys did.
Oh,
Too quick.
that's so sweet.
With the Flash.
It's an issue. Trust me.
So we're doing something.
territory.
We're doing what we call kind of a gush episode. It's our us episode where we just generalize
R.I.P.
kind
Toys
of.
R Us.
Well, I was gonna say.
R.I.P. Toys R Us. I mean, Canada bought them,
soon.
so
Yeah.
that's fine.
Well, I was gonna say, shout out to
Toys R Us, eh?
Hey,
Shout out to the
Toys
Day
R Us.
One fam that has been listening to all of our stuff since day one. And we do episodes like this. We've done with video games. We've done with movies. But I do want to call attention to Caitlin, mainly because this is the first Gush episode we get to do with you.
R Us.
I was about to say, unless my yep, it's
Your
bad.
short memory.
My
it
short
is.
memory is real
So
bad.
short. It's like Asian size.
We
Oh.
don't tell her, but she's done 6 others. We just keep saying each one's her first.
It's so nice to being on the first one. Like, it feels so pure and fresh.
Welcome. Welcome.
Thank you so much, guys. I really do appreciate it.
but we're doing something very different. I think it's incredibly different because we've never done this subject, but we are all way into it.
And it touches upon all the other subjects we talk about.
Yeah, exactly. What are we talking about?
Musica.
Music.
Music or
Totally
us, eh?
different thing.
Ongaku.
But yeah, we're talking about music.
Yeah.
And that ranges from songs, artists, scores, orchestras, movements, written, unwritten,
Known as the universal language.
how feelings sound.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
How colors
Getting
taste.
deep already.
So I want to. I'm gonna start the conversation
How
off.
tasting smells. Yes.
I used to have another podcast, but I just so you guys know.
What?
I
How
know.
dare you?
You know who?
And it was called New Thought, New Song. And what I did was I talked to
hoe over there?
songwriters. Yes. I talked to songwriters about what music meant to them, why they thought music was so important. And this is one of the first questions I would ask. What's the meaning of music to you? Why does it mean so much?
What is love?
So we can, I'm just going to throw that out there.
It's really defined a large part of my life.
Yeah.
My grandfather was a musician in the 60s and 70s.
Shout out to your grandpa.
He wrote a song called Get Together, which was performed by the Youngbloods.
Shout out to the Youngbloods.
It's
Nice.
in Forrest Gump. It's like, come on, people
Shout out to
now,
Forrest
smile on your brother, everybody get
Wow.
together. So that's like our family's little like claim to fame.
Shout out to your family.
Thank you, Tom.
Tom.
Trying to be intimate.
Shout out to
no
Tom.
big deal. Sharing something about myself, then you're making jokes about the whole thing. It's no big deal.
I'm shouting
And
him out.
so I've always been surrounded by my dad followed suit and he was a musician and played with my grandpa for a while. My grandpa passed when I was 9, so I didn't know him well, but I've been surrounded by music my whole life. With my mom or my dad, either side, whoever's house I was at, my mom's house or my dad's house, there was always music in some way or another. My dad's, it was all sorts of instruments from all over the world were just everywhere in the house that we could touch and play and do whatever we wanted with all the time. And my mom's, right, like her stepdad is in a country band. And so I had guitars and violins and banjos throughout my whole life. And we had these like summer barbecues with my grandma on her side, and I'd get up and play music with them and sing. And so that turned into what got me into musical theater, because I loved movies, I loved acting, and I loved singing. And I get to do all I get to do all of that, and I get to dance all at the same time. Like, it was the best time of my fucking life. And from there, I played music for quite some time. I have some albums out there, some demos, some music. That's how Tom and I met through Apple, and then he would start coming to my shows. Shout out to Tom. At Damon's Steakhouse in Glendale, and we became really close from there. So, music has been it's how I won my wife over in high school. Like, it's a big part of what defines me.
Nice.
So there's that.
Very cool.
Nice.
There's so many times I wanted to shout out different things.
I know.
I
appreciate it.
You're going like way day one. Like, when we used to like shout out like everything.
Yeah, I mean
everything.
I think to me, again,
what do shout outs mean to you?
To me, it means like, yo, if we mention it, like, they deserve to have a little bit of love because they are part of our lives.
That's why you're bringing them
Shout
up.
out to your life.
Yeah. But I mean, again, that's the thing I love the most about this show is that, again, it's been labeled as discussional and conversational, discussional, lackadaisical, where we just get the chance to just gush about and talk about things that like make us feel more human.
But this isn't Nerd On or Us.
It is.
This is Music or Us.
But I mean, yeah. So I mean, like going back to like day one of like, yeah, shout out. Music for me. I mean, I don't know. Like so when I said, even those who are tone deaf, I think I'm tone deaf. Because like, when you like sing in the car and then all of a sudden the music goes off, you're like, oh my God, I sound horrid.
Oh no.
But that's why you only sing good in the shower because it's acoustics. Music for me has actually been quite interesting because I was, born terminally Asian. And so during summer, I wouldn't have fun. They would then be like, you have to go to school. Like, I'm like, what? Everyone's going out to play basketball. Why do I got to go to school? And what my sister and I used to do, shout out to my sister, we used to go to our middle school music institute. And so I kind of felt like it was like the boot camp of music. Because it was like, you must learn how to sing from 7 to 8. Then 8 to 9, you're doing violin. From 9 to 10, you're doing trumpet. Take a little break. Then after that, you're doing cello. Then after that, you're doing piano. Then after that, like, I had to do all those instruments. And I learned some stuff, but I mean, I couldn't tell you like anything.
It's hard to retain it when it's only like a year.
It was 3 months. It was during the summer.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, why? And to me, like, I never shown music to be an interest. And I was just like, why is this happening to me? So I'm not saying I had like a traumatic experience with it, but like, I have experience with music now. And like, and then the one thing that's stereotypical, I played the keyboard.
Shout out the keyboard.
Shout out keyboard. And I mean, for me, music is more of like, it's how I get from point A to point B. It's what I listen to. And that's the sad thing about music. I think a more casual audience listens to it very passively. They don't engage with it a lot of the times.
Yeah.
But then to Caitlin and Ali's kind of like perspective, that one thing I learned is that like when you cross different mediums, they give it more meaning. And so for me, like going into film and all that stuff, learning about diegeses and non-diegetic film, like sound and all that stuff, learning about score versus soundtrack, was a really big part of everything for me. So I mean, the music in its entirety like has beyond what it is confined to in this medium. If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Let's do we'll do circular. So it's naturally I'm next because I'm sitting next to Tom.
Shout out to Tom.
Music for me is a big deal. I growing up, I had an interesting childhood where things were my escapes, and it was video games, movies, and music. My dad had this thing about he'd go to a garage sale, and it didn't matter what was in the crate, he would just always buy all of the records that they had.
Wow.
And so what's so funny is, I'm technically I'm at the start of the millennials generation.
Right.
But I grew up on vinyl. And because we had walls full of vinyl. And so music to me was always like, I figured out how to set up the stereo and I just listened to music and I just loved it. And I got really into classic rock and stuff like that. And music throughout my life, much like what you were saying, Corey, is it was two mediums coming together. So naturally musical theater came about. For me, it was first movies, and then I got into theater, and then there was musical theater, and then I got into certain artists that inspired me to start learning the guitar and write my own songs. And then, when I moved to LA, I wanted to be an actor, but I also wanted to be a musician. And the whole reason I went to audio school was to learn how to record my own album.
So Marky Mark.
Yes. Exactly like Marky Mark.
You didn't know that Josh is just Mark Wahlberg?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen him in Calvin Klein's?
That's why he always says, say hi to your mother for me every time you leave.
So yeah, I mean, I have an album out there. I have some stuff on SoundCloud, but music to me has always been, even now, when I'm driving or something like that, so you have that playlist that you listen to, or like when you're at the gym, if you're feeling shitty or whatever, music is emotion. It allows you to feel your emotions a little bit more.
You would almost say that music is a world within itself, with a language we all understand.
Yeah.
I came up with that off the top of my head, by the way.
Wow.
Oh, yeah?
Amazing. It's almost
It's
like
a
that
wonder that I came up with that.
thing you said in
It's
the
a whole
beginning
new
too.
world.
Yeah.
Shining, shimmering, splendor.
It's a Stevie Wonder.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tell me, princess. Sorry.
Kaylin.
Karen.
So music has always been a part of my life.
Shout out to life.
Shout out to life. My
I get
mom.
Big ups to life.
What do I
My
get in trouble
mom
for
is
these?
an
Now I'm doing it as a
elementary
parody.
school music teacher, and she's also the choir director at a church. And both my mom and dad were both very into music. They were actually both in music groups called the Teen Tones at the same time in different places.
What?
I know.
Shout out to the Teen Tones.
Shout out to the Teen Tones.
Both of them.
That's very weird, but awesome. So from the time I was 4, I was taking piano lessons. At 10, I was studying double bass at the String Academy. I studied for 7 years. And
It's more than I studied real school.
and then I also studied French horn for 5. And I just had an aptitude for all things music because at home, my mom would also be practicing piano. And we had games where she would set up notes on this giant mat, which is like a bass and a treble clef. And we would like jump on the notes while she's playing things.
that's
So it's
cool.
just super interwoven into my life. And it was concerts. And originally my career path from the time I was like 10 was I was going to be a concert bassist. That's what I was going to do. At the end of high school, I was actually getting on the verge of filling out paperwork to do like European symphonic things.
Damn.
Wow.
Yeah, bass was my thing. And then I started playing in symphonies locally, and I was like, wow. I think it was just unfortunate that I came across really snooty people, and it kind of ruined.
That can happen.
Yeah, I came across some really
Here you
snooty
are,
people.
surrounded by more snooty people.
Yeah, you jerks. No, but and then in high school, so originally classical, and my family is religious, so a lot of like hymnal Christian, that kind of thing was a huge part of life growing up.
Shout out to religions.
And then when I started stepping outside of that classical traditional box, I went from like alt rock because we were going to a lot of concerts. We would drive like 4 hours to go to concerts all weekend and crash in other people's houses on the floor, go see concerts and drive back home and go to school during the week. And then I gradually, the music got heavier and heavier, and then I was into metal, and then it sort of.
I would love to talk at one point about.
Then it's
'cause
Metalocalypse.
I've done.
Yeah, I've yes. I like the stereotypes that are in that show. I know those people.
Yeah. Oh, I love that show.
Yeah. So there was all of that, and then I started getting into the weird niche things like Juju, that are just like noise bands. Like they don't have any. It's all just pure dissonance and doesn't even have a pattern.
Oh.
Yeah. No, it's actually really hard to listen to.
Is there any difference between that and a cacophony?
I don't know because I don't know what cacophony
That sounds like I wouldn't like it. No offense.
like what?
I said sounds like I wouldn't like it. Very
No,
much.
I actually
offense.
didn't either. It was more of one of those like I'm
curious
experiencing
thing.
this.
It's
to
not his cup of Four
experience it.
Locos.
But anymore, it's I listen to like chill stuff and Japanese music. Like,
Yeah. Dope.
because it makes me happy.
Dope.
Ollie, please tell me you aren't a talented person like me.
Well,
Time to shoot Tom down.
from college on a scholarship at the age of 6.
No, I had piano lessons when I was a kid.
Wrote my first symphony when I was 12.
Exactly.
I want to take
But
a
then
drink.
I just got bored.
Get my kill and take a spit take. And then I learned guitar, not a lot, but a little bit. Mostly like power chords, stuff like that. And I had a garage band with Dennis, Dennis, my friend, and another kid named Brad. And
Shout out to Brad.
Shout out to Brad.
Yes, Josh.
You get it.
But yeah, that was fun. We played a lot of like MXPX covers and things like that.
Yeah.
Early on, though, I
Corey and Dom were
lived off
silent.
of my mom's music collection, which had a lot of pop. So like a lot of
Barbara Streisand.
Hanson.
I don't think she had Barbara Streisand. or
Those were
Hanson.
two choices. Very specific.
My mom's
Streisand.
not my age. So she had like ABBA, Ace of Base,
Yeah.
Oh,
Michael
nice.
Jackson.
I saw the sign.
I was into all of that stuff, Mariah Carey. So like Whitney Houston, stuff like that. So
Yes.
so that was kind of what I grew up on, that and like Disney movies.
Mm-hmm.
And then I developed a taste for like rock and alt rock and things like that. Currently, what it means to me is it's basically my inspiration for everything that I do creatively. Like for me,
Chicago.
I need to be able to dial in to whatever the music is, and it gives me ideas. It gives me a direction. It gives me rhythm. It's almost impossible for me to work on something creative without listening to music, because it gives me a rhythm. So before, like, it was like more entertainment, enjoyment. Now it's like I need this in my life to almost function in a way. And I listen to music all the time. I got my AirPods; they're always running low on batteries.
It's the meaning to your life. It's the inspiration.
Yep, it's inspiration.
That's a Chicago song. Yeah. Okay, I was like,
I know. I was
getting
dancing
it.
around the whole
So
thing.
wait, okay. Answer the question.
Yeah.
If we were like, gun to our head, or planet is being taken over by a giant head, and we're on Planetary Idol.
Yeah.
And it said, "Show me what you got. Could you play an instrument?"
I could.
Okay, so you guys are all the talented people, and I can't. I could not play anything if my life.
I've
depended on
been
it.
very out of practice.
So
I
what's your weapon of choice then?
could- guitar,
Guitar, what kind?
acoustic.
Acoustic. Corey,
What?
weapon of choice in terms of instrument.
Instrument.
Oh, fuck. I don't know.
Okay, if this is gonna be Rick and Morty, show me what you got. What's it?
Guitar.
Josh,
Oh, it'd be acoustic guitar.
Bass.
bass.
Electric or acoustic?
Cool. So I'm on vocals.
Like your tambourine.
Yes, or cowbell.
We do need
Cowbell.
percussion.
Cowbell.
Okay, cool. So a bunch of guitar players. So all these axes, right? That's what they call them. My axe.
I'll play piano then.
Oh, you play piano.
That's what the kids say.
Cool. So I guess that moves.
Nerd
us-
on the band.
Yeah.
Band on.
Band on.
Band-Aid on. Okay. What
So
would
I'm stuck on the Band-Aid brand.
We're not affiliated by
shout out to Ben.
Shout out to Johnson & Johnson.
Not sponsored yet.
So in terms of the next part, again, the cool thing about these Gush episodes, we can kind of go free flow, but
Yeah.
you were kind of coming to a point, Josh, where you're talking about like music is what you listen to when you're driving, or you have different, like ways you're listening to it. So I, thinking about it, what would be your playlist or your flavor profile? Like what could you be caught listening
That's
to?
a really, really broad question.
It's a very broad question for a lot of us.
If you're
Or
listening to
to-
when you're driving.
Specifically when because there's different playlists for different things
So
you're doing.
your
Yeah.
driving playlist and you're driving long distance.
Still changes.
That's fair.
I can kind of quickly cycle through. So I have like EDM playlists, which I listen to a lot
Okay.
now. And then I have a lot of soundtracks,
Okay. So like movie scores.
movie scores, video game scores.
Okay.
And that's mainly my wheelhouse currently.
When you're driving?
Yeah.
Interesting. Corey? Gambino?
I mean, pretty much anything. I never got into metal.
Okay.
Anything outside of that, metal and country.
Okay. Ah.
Yeah. Anything outside of those two, you will catch me listening to it.
All right. So
At some point.
okay, is that technically called eclectic taste? Where you have like
Yeah.
a good variety of
Good
what
variety.
I'll take it. That sounds nice.
you like? For me, driving specifically for, I mean, I take a lot of trips back home, and back home to me is like Sacramento, it's a 6-hour drive. So a lot of the times I'm going up, I'm listening to pop.
Mm-hmm.
So like
kind of
Maroon
pop?
5
Okay.
entire discography, Katy Perry discography,
Nice.
or anything that's on country. I fucking
Tom loves country.
I don't
He's a
know.
country boy.
It's so weird because yeah, no one expects it. No one expects it. Because
So much respect.
you okay, wow.
Lost. No, I'm just kidding.
Wow.
No.
Country?
Shout
I'm
out
not-
to
I grew up on
respect.
I'm not
country,
welcome
but
here
I
anymore,
don't
I guess,
listen to it
guys.
now.
You're
But-
always welcome, Tom.
But no, I
Always.
mean
I grew up on country too. I
So-
don't listen to it at all.
so I mean for me like in college I listened to so much country because I was in a fraternity. I was a bunch of white dudes. And it literally reminded me of like day drinking. It reminds me of day drinking and relaxing.
It starts with Old Crow Medicine show, and then it's just a slippery slope from there. That's how that goes. Rock me, mama, like a wagon.
But it also reminds me of like watching USA and watching Walker Texas Ranger with my dad.
Okay.
Walker.
yeah.
Norris.
My grandma was that and Touched by an Angel. Those were her 2 shows.
Yeah. I remember because I mean, so to me, country music really has like a very like old timey feel. Even if it's new ones, it always feels like it's a very relaxing thing. And then if you drive up to Sacramento, you're seeing nothing but like long weeds.
You could have just stopped at nothing.
I mean, there's my childhood.
Depends on which freeway
It's
you
where I
take.
lost my
No, I
virginity.
meant
It's where I got my
I
driver's
was talking
license.
about the drive up there
On the 5?
Once you get there, there's one point where you're just like,
Well, there's the
Nothing.
There's those trees,
yeah.
It was called the City of Trees
and
for a
then
while.
at the
By the time this
you
episode
also
comes out,
have a
it's not.
couple. You got the windmills.
Yeah.
That's it.
Anyways, shout out to my nothingness. Josh,
I wasn't saying where you
Not
grew
the
up.
music.
I grew up in
Oh.
a small town.
Shout out to Turk Wilder, who he's a family friend that wrote the Walker Texas Ranger theme song.
Shout out.
Oh wow.
That's
Shout
a
out.
real shout out.
Yeah, real shout out, Turk Wilder.
A real shout out. No, I grew up in a small town that was like in the middle of nowhere. So I get it.
Some might say,
so
but
you don't have
nowhere.
to project your small town feelings on mine.
That's
Are you
true.
we're not
That's
talking about town. We're talking about the drive on the 5, right?
Yes.
The drive on the 5 sucks.
I like it.
I grew up doing that my entire life, and
take the
so did
101.
I.
I'll still attest to the fact that there's not a lot to see.
No.
Everyone knows you can take the 101.
I
you
still
get on
love the
one,
drive,
and have
Tom.
Get
a
some
scenic
taco
view.
spots on the way.
I still
Alright.
love the drive.
Real
but
talk.
there's nothing to see.
I did not know that
Yeah.
because I'm from the Midwest. There's a reason I don't like country.
All right.
Well
Because
Sorry, Tom.
Well then,
Sorry, Tom, but you're wrong.
okay.
Flavor.
Not
Your
wrong.
feelings, your
Not
opinions
wrong.
are invalid.
Tom,
not
Fuck you.
wrong.
Here's your opinion on why it doesn't matter.
Thank you.
You get some
Okay,
Buffalo shrimp.
so Josh's flavor profile.
Driving. But I mean, it expands.
Well, that's the thing is like, my flavor profile across my life has changed so much. There was country phase. There was
right
a
now.
pop phase. There was but I'm getting to that.
Okay.
My phase now is I'm circling through my phases. And honestly, if I were to pick one, which I seem to be just listening to most of the time, is classic rock.
Okay.
I always joke that I was supposed to be born in the 60s so I could be a teenager in the 70s because the 70s are where it's at when it comes to music.
Because you act like a baby boomer.
Yeah, you've got great funk, you've got disco, you've got rock, you have all these really cool music that happened in the 70s, and I just fucking love all
Would
of
you
it.
say like 60s and 70s?
Yeah, 60s and 70s, I love it.
And
So that's what it's either that or I'll circle through like the last week I've been circling through my various flavor profiles of my life. Like even like, oh God, early 2000s emo. Or like
So,
my hard
My
rock
Chemical Romance.
phase, like so it's the Juliana Theory. There are a bunch of bands, but
Cody
anyway,
and Cambria.
yeah. So I mean, it's like sometimes I'll go back to those and I'll be like, oh,
Oh yeah,
but
Have a little nostalgia.
mainly it's always like probably.
I can tell you what I'm always listening to when I'm cleaning the house.
Yeah.
It's always soul.
Okay.
So like Al Green,
Nice.
Otis Redding,
where it's at.
Etta James. I'll even go back to like
Bill Withers.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
but sometimes I'll put on some newer soul stuff. Like I've been really into lately. My sister got me this album of oh my God, I'm blanking on the name right now, but I put it on every single morning. Sound and Color is the name of the album, but I'm blanking on the band name right now. I'll come back to it. But yeah, soul is what I use to like clean and like Get me started.
And like the flavors, I mean, like
Alabama Shakes. Jesus
Okay,
Christ.
yeah.
And the flavors, I mean, like they can rotate between like what else you do. So I mean, like for me, I remember having so many memories playing. I've told Corey about this, but Baldur's Gate: Dark Alliance, and listening to nothing but Fort Minor.
Yeah.
And I grew up on Linkin Park, and so
Yeah.
whenever I'm like cleaning, weird with cleaning, I'm listening to Linkin Park, or I'm at the gym doing Linkin Park. I don't know why those are like the same brainwave.
Because you're trying to get something done.
Probably it's like get shit done, but also like sometimes Linkin Park stuff like in a weird way. You know, when you listen to stuff when you're sad, right? Like I'm a weird. I don't know if I'm weird or I just haven't discovered other people who do this like me. Maybe we'll find out today. When I get sad, sometimes I like to listen to music that makes me even more sad.
Oh yeah.
So that
That's why sad music exists.
I could be in this like self-destructive like cycle.
Somebody else feels the way I feel.
Yeah,
That's
and I mean,
why-
that's why I fucking loved Linkin Park so much. Like Chester
That's why
Bennington.
Evanescence exists.
Yeah, my immortal
Sad
though.
people.
My immortal.
I'm
I played
laughing at
that on
myself
piano.
on that one. I'm laughing at myself on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm thinking of the phases.
Wake
that I'm
me up! Yes.
Fucking Daredevil. but no. So I mean, like when I play video games, I'm playing like Fort Minor, Linkin Park stuff. I mean, every once in a while, like dip into like hip hop
Disney.
and R&B.
Oh.
No, yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Well, I came from a weird background, right? So like my mom was relatively young when she had me. She was 23. And my dad was 28 when I was born. So they split when I was pretty young.
When he had
They're very different people. So like on my mom's side, I grew up with more modern stuff for the time, right? So like she was into the whole country thing, but she was listening to like Bon Jovi and Alanis, like Jagged Little Pill. The reason I love that album so much is because my mom listened to it on repeat for the first like 5 years of
Do you
my
know what I
life.
call that? When you start listening to oldies that your parents listen to, and people are like, "Why are you listening to oldies?" I say, "Well, because my parents loved me."
Yeah. So I had stuff like that, right? So I had like 80s rock and 90s, early 90s, like folk pop kind of stuff.
Yeah.
The aggression era of music. And on my dad's side, I listened to a lot of that, like Otis Redding, a lot of 60s rock, right? So like Youngbloods, Grateful Dead, that kind of thing. But he was also into rap, like really hard into rap. So like we would listen to one of two things when he took us to school. It would either be like 60s and 70s era soul or rock. And then or we'd be listening to like Da Brat.
NWA.
No,
Okay.
like Da Brat and like Lil Kim and Eminem and
Yeah.
do you know what I mean? Like Dr. Dre, and like that was the two musical genres I had at two different households, and so I'm just this weird amalgamation of all that
I
shit.
was gonna bring that up too, because my mom was born in the 60s. My stepdad, who raised me, was born in the 40s, and so I had like the oldies but goodies that were Greg, my dad,
Volume
he
one.
loves, and then kind of things like Big Bopper, that kind
Yeah.
of thing, and then you have my mom in the 60s who grew up with classic rock, and so, but it's always kind of taught me to go through these different.
It's just
different
who would like
things.
I didn't even mention my stepdad was into like AC/DC and shit
Yeah.
like that. So like that's where I got that.
My
from.
dad was into country, and so it's just like this weird, and then you just grow as an adult in our generation and just what has become
from what you've
popular-ish. But yeah,
So, Caitlin, what is your flavor?
My flavor,
Flavors.
like now, or what do I?
I would like to do it now. I mean,
Now.
we have parts where it's like, what were your first albums and stuff like that. So right now, if people were going on Spotify, be like, this is Caitlin's X, Y, and Z mix. What is it?
most listened to. Most listened to is probably going to be either like Japanese alt rock
Okay.
or like Japanese rap.
Any
groups.
bands our audience might know who are the initiated?
That are like what I like from that group. I like Reol, REOL.
Okay.
And I also like Fake Type, Sumika, and of course I'm blanking on any others.
That's how this works. That's
Yeah.
how an episode like this
You
works.
talk about
like
something
even
like
when we
this,
did
yeah.
like favorite movies and video games, we'd leave being like, I fucking didn't talk about.
Yeah,
The
no.
thing.
no, he
we
talked
talk
about
about
that.
I talk about that all.
So that's what, as of right now, I'm listening to a lot of. And that's just because I really, like, one, I'm trying to be better at Japanese, and two, it's very, like, happy-go-lucky kind of music. And that's kind of where I'm at right now.
Well, I mean, to that point, I mean, there is a reason why the internet explodes, and it says like when that anime opening starts, what you do, and then it's like all this dancing.
Actually, yeah,
because it's like it super hypes you up.
Yeah, like one of the bands is actually I found them because they did an anime opening. So yeah, and then does everyone know about the lo-fi chill step streams that are
On YouTube?
On YouTube.
Yeah.
No.
So I mean, okay. So I mean, for me, a Japanese artist that I fucking love, and I hate how he became big after his death. Nujabes. It's a DJ, and it's actually his name backwards, Seb Jun. And he did the music for Samurai Champloo. And so he combines hip hop and classic.
Yeah.
And I found him on MySpace in like I remember it was February. It was month of February, back in the fucking day. And I was like, this is fucking amazing. And you can find him on Apple Music and everywhere it is. And then I hate like out of nowhere, like everyone started listening. I was like, no, he was my secret.
My baby.
No, I was the cool American kid that
Fucking
knew him.
hipster.
Yeah, a little bit. a little bit.
I thought I had that with Michelle Branch.
But you and I.
But yeah, so a lot of that, like if I'm working or like cleaning, doing stuff around the house, it's going to be those like lo-fi chill step streams, 24/7 all the day. If I'm in the gym, it's metal, like gruesome, horrific metal.
Metalocalypse.
Yes, about there. I actually used to like gauge the seriousness of. This is gonna sound really not okay.
Okay.
Wow.
And you're
you
welcome
prefaced
here
it,
too.
so it's okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I used to.
It's about to sound really racist, but listen. No, I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
I used to base like the seriousness of the musicians for metal based on how strongly they enacted their beliefs, even if I didn't approve of what they were doing.
So it's like, see how hardcore they are.
Kind of.
It's like if you're not really that hardcore, if you're not really gonna practice what you preach.
I guess. But that sounds really super not okay to me saying it out loud.
I mean, it's fine.
Well, were you younger?
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
Yes,
Say,
of course. And I was, of course, surrounded by like-minded people as well.
I once stole a power bar from a country club, but I was younger, so.
I didn't do that.
But I'm just saying, we all make mistakes, Caitlin.
It's true. It's true. But yeah, metal is like my like really wonderful metal for working out and whatnot. And then my sad music is actually like the Ghibli movies, that music, but the music box versions.
What is a music box version?
There's actually a CD of like Ghibli music done in music box style.
What is it?
Like a music box that you.
Okay.
Yeah, like a music box.
So, you have to like
Literal.
layman me.
Literal music box.
Because I didn't have a music box. I don't know what that means.
Uncultured swine!
More like my poor
Got Tom.
No, you don't get to wiggle out of this one, Tom.
I couldn't afford it. What is the music
You
box?
uncultured swine. You've seen movies. They're used in all movies.
He just had two chopsticks to clack together.
Yeah.
That's all Tom had.
But Ollie Oxen free.
I thought I went already.
Did you?
Yeah.
For all your types, you said mainly
Your flavor
EDM and all that
profile?
stuff. But I mean for gaming or anything like that.
Well, because
Are we
here's the
talking about
thing,
gaming
we
now?
started.
Yeah.
You started this question off with driving specifically.
Well, I said for one because you're like, which
'cause-
one? Then I'm like, well, fucking driving. Then I was like, if you guys
And
can't
then it evolved
figure out which
as we went
flavor you
around
want
the
to talk
room.
about,
Yeah.
then I'll give you one.
And my answer's not different. It's the same. It's
Oh.
it like I don't have like I'll always listen to the same groups of music. Like I'm not like, oh, it's driving time, oh, it's working time. Like it's all
Right.
the same because I'm constantly in my head, which I need to practice getting out of my head a little bit.
Yay, go
But-
us. Always in your head.
But I'm always like trying to be like, what would
But
be
I
a
like it there.
cool new thing for me to do, or how should I tackle this problem? So it's always like whatever I feel like listening to right now, whatever sounds good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So again, we'll move on then. Then you could start it. It will be, what is the first album?
Do we have
first
like
taste? Oh yeah.
a section on here, just eventually like favorite artists or
Yeah, let's bring it
stuff
up.
like that?
Let's bring it up after this.
Yeah.
Because this is more of a first.
I just meant
Yeah.
if we get to that, that's a little easier for me to do.
Okay.
Yeah.
But first album or first song that really got you like, I like music. Music's nice. You kind of wanted to do a little bit of yours, Corey, but
Yeah.
I wanna hear.
I mean, I
I
don't
mean,
have a
it's-
specific album if anyone else wants to go.
I
I remember the first album that I ever bought,
Yeah.
but it wasn't like, Oh gosh, this is the first thing that I don't know.
Really?
I listen to so much music.
Yeah.
Interesting.
That
Well,
I
we
can't.
came from backgrounds of music from my mom used to do the thing where she put headphones on her belly to listen to
I
music.
could say Steve Miller, several of his albums, Fleetwood Mac, Rumors. I mean, there's so many the albums, but my first album I ever bought with my own money.
This is it.
The Ghostbusters soundtrack.
Yeah.
See, that's the answer I want. Because, okay, so I mean, like, I'm not.
You're just talking about the first album you bought? We could do that.
Yeah, because I mean, like, I don't come from a music
no.
background. My
I
parents
don't
aren't
remember this.
musicians or anything like that, right? But
I
like,
remember mine.
Mine's not good.
but
And it was a tape.
yeah, that's awesome. But I mean, my parents loved me and they played a lot of music. And if I listened to any of the music that my parents played, it'd be like Carpenters, Carole King, and the Beatles.
That's great.
Or Fleetwood Mac.
Carole King is phenomenal.
I love Carole King. It makes me sad. But the first album I bought with my own money was fucking Space Jam.
Yes.
And so that's what I mean, like, you know, like this
You and
is
your guys' soundtracks, man.
yeah, like fucking I Believe I Could Fly.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so I mean,
Don't worry,
R.
I had
Kelly
it too.
before he
I had it
peed on
too.
people.
yeah. I mean, he probably
Fly
still
Like an
was.
Eagle.
Before we
Steve
found
Miller
out he
Band.
peed on
Yeah,
people.
saying.
The first album I ever bought with my own money, I saved up doing chores for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks. And I had my mom drive me to, God, what was the name of the place?
The Warehouse.
The Warehouse. Yes.
Jesus.
Thank you.
Mine was Media Play.
But it was self-titled album, Backstreet Boys.
Yes.
Yeah, the self-titled where they're all like leaning up on the wall. And I'm just like, my sister and I listened to that on repeat. And of course we bought
The one true boy
Millennium,
band of the.
and we bought Black and Blue. Like we bought all of those. But the first album I think I ever bought with my own money that I remember, maybe I bought one before or had my mom be like,
But
give me that one.
that was the one you were.
That was the one I remember being like, I bought this. Backstreet Boys.
You are of the adults.
Self-titled album.
So go this way now.
Mine is Big Willie style.
Oh,
Yeah.
Will Smith.
gangster. Not
That is
really.
Did you end up picking up Millennium?
I did end up.
There you go.
Millennium.
Big Willie Style is a fantastic album, by the way.
I mean, yeah, I was big into
Men in Black.
Will
Remember the
Smith.
skits on the album? They had like
Yeah,
skits where like someone was trying to interview him. He's like, no, I don't want to interview you.
yeah. But I mean, I grew up on Fresh Prince.
Yeah.
So
They've been in Black.
it was a natural thing.
It was a natural progression.
Karen.
I don't remember the first one I bought.
Okay, fine. First one you torrented. I'm kidding.
I didn't torrent anything actually.
Yes.
Uh,
That's good.
I never have. High
Me
five.
neither.
Boo.
Pepsi Caps for life.
A couple of CDs that I do remember that I purchased though. I remember buying several System of a Down CDs.
Oh, yes.
Dresden Dolls.
Puddle of Mud.
POD.
Remember that?
fucking
hates me.
Oh yeah.
Na na na.
I have a very vivid memory
Lust.
of buying a From First to Last album, the Heroin album. I don't know why, but that really stuck out in my mind.
Wow.
And From First to Last was the band that Sonny Strait was in, who is now Skrillex.
Nice.
Okay.
I liked Skrillex before it was Skrillex. Top that.
I like Skittles.
Hipster.
I know.
Tom, you're gonna be happy with this. The second album, the first album I ever bought with a paycheck, like not paycheck, but like I used to help my dad out at his job before I was
When you got
legally
paid.
able to work.
Yeah.
Was Hybrid Theory.
It's a good one.
I don't
You
actually
want to know
what
my
that
second
is.
album I bought?
What?
Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
You know, when you say EDM, I was like, oh yeah, I had both albums,
My
baby.
second album.
No, that's
What is that?
That's Rurouni Kenshin.
That's it.
My second
totally
album
is.
was Eiffel
I would buy
65.
I
Yes.
I'm
Yes.
A blue.
blue.
Oh, that song.
Can we buy
Sorry.
the rights to them and just have that be our theme?
My dad went to my
We
dad
could
took
probably
me to
afford it at
Target
this
and he
point.
let me buy a CD player for my birthday with
A Walkman or a CD player like
a Discman, bruh.
Discman?
With
Discman.
with blue.
Did it have the like anti-skip feature? 'Cause that was the shit.
Yeah.
Oh,
40
for
seconds.
sure.
Oh my
40
god.
seconds, bruh.
Do you remember those little tiny it was like a teeny tiny tape that's
Yeah.
not
Yes.
actually a tape
Yeah.
that you put in and it only plays like 20 seconds of a song.
Yep.
Yeah.
They had a name. I forget what it was.
I
but
don't remember
My sister
either,
had a
but they were
Britney Spears one.
amazing.
I did
I had an
too.
NSYNC one.
A Britney Spears
Britney
one?
Spears.
Nice.
Yeah.
Is that how much
That
you
would
could
be
play
my
without,
guilty.
That's
having to
back when
license it?
like everything was atomic.
Everything was a toy.
Everything was see-through.
Yes,
We had
yeah.
those see-through cushions. We had the telephones where you could see all the
Controllers.
gears in the middle.
Max.
Yeah.
Nostalgia it up.
Yeah.
It was great.
But yeah.
Let's do to Corey's point. Let's do a favorite artist.
Yeah.
I don't. That's tough. See, that's tough for me.
I can
because I
pick
have
a-
like 5.
You can name 5 then.
Okay.
Just
So,
name your 5.
Go, Corey.
And none of my favorite artists actually perform my favorite song of all time, which is interesting. But Josh and I are going to share a few, I'm sure.
Yep.
Jason Mraz.
Yes, Jason Mraz.
Jason
Right
Mraz.
off the bat, is probably my favorite musician of all time. I'll say that I met him, but we'll go into that. John Mayer, one of my favorites of all time.
Which you've brought me into that world.
Yeah. Yes, Continuum is probably one of the greatest pop rock albums of all time. Al Green is, I am drawn to Al Green like nothing else. Like his music, if I'm stressed out, I'll listen to it, I'll feel better. If I'm sad, I'll listen to it. If I'm happy, I'll listen to it and feel happier. Anything Al Green is
Good to him.
good to me. I'll stop there. I got bunches and bunches, but I'd say if you were to ask like top 3, I'll probably think of another one as we go around. But those right off the top of my head, those are the 3.
For me, it's probably going to be Linkin Park, Maroon 5.
Childish Gambino, I'm an idiot.
Yeah, I know.
Childish Gambino.
Yeah, I know.
All day, all night, but not just rap. Everything he does, I want to be
Yeah,
him.
he's great.
Yeah.
I love
Linkin Park, and then specifically Mike Shinoda as well. I like Fort Minor, and I like what he does. I've an Eminem. I've always wanted Eminem and him to do like a mashup, like how he did that Linkin Park did with Jay-Z.
Oh, yeah, that'd be good.
And that was great because I think that's what Mike Shinoda really used to push Fort Minor, because it was much more in closer with rap and hip hop. Yeah, I mean that, but also, you know, it was actually interesting that the album itself touches me a lot, and specifically it's Switchfoot.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yes.
Switchfoot's Beautiful Letdown.
Yeah.
That album, like, that was like the soundtrack of like my last 2 years of high school. But Maroon 5, I still listen to like all their albums, even their 1, 2, or 3.
There's
bad
a
songs.
Switchfoot song that I have played on repeat in high school. And my time in high school was like
2 years after mine.
Yellow
Or before.
Card and like that kind of shit. Like that.
Nice off
You
no
found
shit,
glory.
Like that,
Avenue.
like where like punk bands were feeling
Dashboard
themselves.
Confessional.
You know what I mean? They'd all come out with those.
vindicated.
They'd all come out with those acoustic songs that everyone was just like, I'm gonna burn this.
And
on
everybody's
CD.
singing like this.
I'm gonna
You're
burn
like,
this on CD for a girl, and
she's gonna understand me.
He's gonna love me.
so there's this song by Switchfoot.
I say,
Let That
even
Be
though I
Enough.
didn't do that.
Do you know that song?
It's in their second album.
It's an acoustic. It's just him and the guitar.
Which song?
Let That Be Enough.
Okay. No.
You should check it out. It's just, he sounds a little Kermit the Frog on it. I'll be honest. It's like, wish I had what I needed to be on my own.
Yeah, no,
It's my birthday tomorrow.
Are you sure that's the name of the
22 years.
song?
I don't know the name of the song.
and that
But
is-
that's because let that be enough.
That isn't Beautiful Letdown, but it's not that. That's not the name of the song.
It's so
Were you guys also vastly overwhelmed by Hey There Delilah?
Oh, I love that song.
Yeah.
He was in
No,
New
no,
York
no, no, no.
when that
I
song came out.
don't mean just like, oh, you liked it. I mean like it was everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
There was
Everywhere,
parodies. There were parodies of it. and
Oh,
that
I'm
was
sure.
hardcore into it because at the time I was dating a girl who lived in New York and I didn't.
Oh.
And then she turned out to be crazy.
So opposite of that story.
That's
And now I hate that song.
Opposite of that
Yay.
story, my roommate, James, current roommate, was going to school in New York. So I would be like, hey there, James, what's it like in New York
Aw.
City? Because, you know, we were, yeah, whatever. But, yeah, so yeah, Maroon
Bromance.
5. Okay. Yeah, Maroon 5, Linkin Park, Mike Shinoda, Eminem.
Yeah.
And it's funny because Eminem didn't really come into my life until South Park.
Really?
That really
Okay.
kind of introduced it to me. I was going,
Interesting.
Yeah.
Eminem?
Yeah.
Mm.
Because he
I was
did
there. I
the
watched the whole
impersonation
thing
of
happen.
Cartman. And then that was like, oh, what the heck? And then
Watch
There you
him
go.
on air, watch him get taken off air.
yeah.
All that stuff. I was there, man.
Josh,
Lived it.
artists.
I mean,
Jason Mraz.
favorite artist will be Jason Mraz all day, every day. When he got introduced to my life, this is gonna sound douchey and hipster, but I was listening to Jason Mraz before he
You
was.
fucking hipster.
I know.
He was building a ukulele before ukuleles were even built.
He got introduced into my life, and for some reason, just like it sounds corny, cheesy, and whatever, but it did change my life because it made me more positive.
Yeah.
It at the time of my
What's
life.
that like? Tell me, please.
At the time of my life,
Listen to Jason Mraz.
I was very depressed and angry. I'll be perfectly honest, depressed and angry, and
Deprangry.
some different things got introduced to my life, like positive thinking. Imagine that. And He came into my life, and just every album since has had a place in my life at that time, just perfectly.
You hear some of that new stuff yet?
Yeah, it's
Is it the good?
Oh,
it's
yeah.
the good.
I think it's going to be even better than his last album.
Yeah. So Jason Mraz all day, every day. It's hard because like Fleetwood Mac,
Yes.
Steve Miller Band,
Rumors is one of the
Yeah.
greatest albums of all time.
Steve Miller Band, Billy Joel has a special place in my heart.
What's your favorite Billy Joel song?
Oh, fuck. It's one that's not really known. It's called Tomorrow.
Which album? I have most of his albums. I'll check it out. We'll check it out
The one
later.
they do in Family Guy.
I don't know.
For the longest time.
Oh, for the longest time, yeah.
I
We
pretty
got
much
there.
can listen to anything by Billy Joel.
Mine's
and just-
Vienna Waits for You.
Okay. It's Tomorrow is Today.
Yes. Okay. Yep.
That song, and I only realized what it actually means like
Yesterday.
yesterday I finally learned what it meant. But anyway, Billy Joel, Elton John. I really like Muse a lot.
Yes,
lot
I
of-
forgot about Muse.
Oh, Counting Crows. I love Counting
Counting
Crows.
Crows. Yes. I mean, there's
Counting Crows, real quick.
Uh-oh.
Guess where I was living when he came out with
Omaha.
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 I was
Let me
living in
guess.
Omaha. Yes.
Nebraska.
Nebraska. Omaha,
Is that a
Nebraska.
parking lot?
I mean,
Love Counting Crows.
love the Beatles. I mean, that's kind of
That's a
cliche, I
given,
feel
but
like.
no,
That-
you could say that. Not everyone likes the Beatles. Some
that
people
is
like the
true.
Stones. And I like the
was gonna
Stones
say,
too.
It's like what are you? It's like saying, are you Star Trek or Star Wars? Are you Beatles or Rolling
Are
Stones?
you both? Or are you Beatles?
The actual questions are
I'm
you a
Beatles.
Trekkie or a Jedi? But
I'm more Beatles, but I do love
But yeah,
some
my
Rolling
music,
Stones.
my music favorites just changes all the time. So
Hey, Josh. Why did the hipster burn his mouth? On the coffee.
why?
'Cause he drank it before it was cool.
Yeah.
there's another one. How much does a hipster weigh
I don't know.
in Instagram?
Oh God!
Oh boy, we've descended into hell.
With heavy metal.
Well, oh man. So wait, top artists?
Yeah, favorite artist.
Favorite artists. So
It's
I really
kind of a gushing moment. You don't have
Gushy.
to have numbers. You can just be like, oh, I really like this, this,
Led
this,
Zeppelin?
this. Nice.
Yeah.
I really like Imogen Heap.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
I went through a huge phage.
Phage.
Wow.
Phage. I went through a huge phage, the untouchable phase, and I listened to a lot of Imogen Heap.
Yeah,
That.
I was
It's
very
a magic card.
very into Imogen Heap for a good many years, and then I she just kind of fell off the radar. And then when I was writing for all the tech sites and stuff, there was a Kickstarter for these gloves that you could program that had to do with music, and it was actually her work.
That's great.
Where she was like, "Oh yeah, you can
What'd
like
you say?
you can like move the sound."
That's
and she had programmed things that so when she moves a certain finger, like she was doing whole live concerts, like just dancing around the stage and the music's flowing with her. It
Wow.
was beautiful.
It's like kinetic art.
Yeah. And it was so I'm a huge fan of
Sounds like some
Imogen
Bjork
Heap.
stuff.
If anything, that's like a big thing just as a performer too.
Oh yeah,
super
no,
dope.
all of that business is amazing. I really liked Jimmy Eat World.
Yeah.
Blink-182.
Yeah.
Can't believe I didn't say Blink-182.
I would say
I'm such an asshole.
like comedically, but also really not. I really liked Belphegor.
What is that?
Not sure what that is.
Belphegor is a metal band, and they're one song. And I mean, they're singing about the heavy stuff and everything, but there was a song called Sex Dictator Lucifer.
Yes.
There's literally a line
That's
in the song.
amazing.
That sounds like a safe word.
There's literally a line in the
It's a
song
South Park's reference.
that says, I don't remember the first part. All I remember is anus breathes for more.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
That is
It's
how I
like-
want to start one of my novels.
Seeing them be like really serious and then being like, anus
Call
breathes
me
for more.
Ishmael.
It was
My
just,
anus breathes for more.
The giant A. at
That's
the beginning.
Tom's autobiography.
and like the front of their album is them both being on like dog leads with some dominatrix
Of course.
woman. Like it was, I don't know.
sense.
It just made it like seem funny compared to how The rest of the metal bands are so serious, and they're like, oh, we torture people and burn churches and cut off faces and whatever.
Like my dad, when he was playing music, he used to play in a metal band, and he used to play with this band called the Flashing Monks, and they would all dress as monks to the whole show, and then at the very end, they would lift up their robes and flash the audience.
I don't know how I feel about that.
It was the 80s. I think it was a different
That sounds
times.
like the 80s.
They were dark times.
I do have to interrupt real quick because Tom brought something to my attention, and I'm heartbroken that I didn't mention Third Eye Blind.
As Ollie said, you are remiss.
I am remiss. No, I'm heartbroken that I didn't mention it because that is the band that my sister and I bonded over the most, was Third Eye Blind. And I finally got to see them a couple of years ago, and it was really exciting. But I can't believe I didn't fucking say that. Sorry.
said
Go.
it now.
I did say it
Yeah.
now. I feel better.
I have
trying to
some that
think
I
of-
forgot to say. But
I feel like I have so many more artists.
Oh, there's tons more.
It's
We'll
never
keep
gonna
going.
end.
Oh,
Feel free to
yeah,
shout
throughout
them
this
out.
whole
Yeah.
episode.
yeah, I mean, I forgot Usher.
We're gonna have like a favorite song
And
at some
JB's.
point, right?
In this episode, you're allowed to shout out spontaneously if you remember something off the top of your
Yeah,
head.
it's a good episode.
Are we doing like a specific song too? Or
We will.
Yeah, we
Okay,
will.
okay, then I'll
I have a
save.
specific song.
I'll
yeah.
save.
So I have a top 5.
Ooh,
And-
someone's
Look
prepared.
at you.
They're
He
in
has a
order.
list. He's looking at his
Ooh,
phone.
He's
in
actually
order.
prepared it visually.
Visually.
All the way.
There's charts. Number
discuss.
5 is Lady Gaga.
Okay.
Real talk.
And it's not a guilty pleasure.
Real talk.
Yeah.
I thought you were joking about it
talented
before we
as shit.
started.
No.
Holy shit, bro.
However, it is specifically the Fame Monster Deluxe Edition.
Wait, okay, so what are the songs in that?
There's-
like her big
there's just,
first album,
Double the number of songs or something on it.
Which song specifically? I think he means. He means like
'Cause I grew
all her
up-
big first hits, right? Like
Yeah.
Because the first one I heard, I think, was
the
like
Bad Romance. and
was with like Akon and her.
I really like
Just Dance.
Yeah, just
Paper Gangster is
It'll be
one of my favorites on that album. I just love the rhythm of it and how it sounds and how she sings it. There's a song on there, I don't remember the name of it, but it's because it's been a while since I've actually listened to her. But it's kind of like a country style song, really good. But I'm just a huge fan of her voice.
okay.
Like I just love the way she sings, and I've listened to that album. I've listened to that album probably.
I'm listening to
way
that album
more-
right now.
I'm listening to it right now. But I'll probably listen to that album way more than I've done.
Everyone at home, pause the episode, listening.
Yeah, go Fame Monster Deluxe Edition.
I will say to that point, I mean, the one thing I do know, like specifically, I've listened to her music, but like Jay Farrow talked about in an interview how when she hosted SNL, he's like, I will not talk about her at all because her performance does all the speaking.
Yeah.
And she's a highly talented
Oh yeah,
person,
that
so-
has like Just Dance, Paparazzi, Poker Face, Bad Romance.
Everything you know.
Yeah.
Which one has the meat suit? I'm kidding.
The only song
That's
I'm
after.
sad isn't on here is You and I.
Yeah.
But it has everything
After, I
else.
think.
Yeah.
Number two.
4.
Or number 4.
It's going to
To
like
Succession.
yeah. It's
Okay.
so number
okay, I
one
thought
is-
I
she's
thought
number
Lady
5.
Gaga was your top.
No,
I
no,
was
no.
like, whoa.
Regina Spektor, number 4.
Yes.
Oh, Regina
wow.
Huge fan.
Spektor.
Her music got me through college, basically. Like she was like the foundation of the music that I listened to in college,
Nice.
or like the later half of college.
Did you ever listen to Fiona Apple?
Yes,
Not
but
as big
not
of a fan.
nowhere near as much.
Yeah.
She's more folky.
Yeah. She's
Correct.
more folky jazz.
Yeah, I couldn't really get into like the more folky music.
What?
I like
It's just a funny word.
I like hokey
Folky.
pokey.
I know what it is. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, but it's like
Yeah,
one of
sure.
those. Oh yeah, that's a funny word. Anyway,
Folky.
folky.
Number 3 is a little band out of LA, Silver Sun Pickups.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's Future Foe.
That's that.
Guess
that is
who
how
I saw
got
them
my-
open for?
Who?
Third Eye Blind.
Really? Yeah, that's awesome. I saw them. They're one of the few. I haven't been to many concerts in my life, which I'm very sad about.
Yeah.
But
We'll go to
Oh
some.
my god.
we'll go to some. But one of the few I've been to is Silver Sun Pickups in Omaha.
This is just a
And they're
little
one of the
side.
few bands that sound way better
Yeah,
live.
way
than
better
they
live.
do, recorded.
Side tangent, Silver Sun Pickups. I forget which song it is, but like I associate that with like my first I associate that with my first like high school crush.
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna say
very-
heist, and I was like,
I associate that with my first Diamond Heist.
I first.
Wow.
funny
Josh, I'm
enough,
not going to talk about those.
if you
Not on
are a
the
Silver Sun
microphone.
Pickups fan of any degree, I highly recommend you seek out the iTunes live sessions.
Ooh.
They're better versions. There's like 4 songs in it, but they're better versions of the.
I've never listened to them. All right.
you have, you just don't know.
Okay.
You just don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
One of their songs was really, really big.
Okay, cool.
I saw them live, and then the person I was with, we somehow made it backstage because I wanted them to sign my album.
Nice.
And we're like, we went up, and somehow we got into like the green room. The girl I was with was pretty hot, so that probably helped. And then
be
we
nice.
were like, "Where's Brian? Where's Brian, lead singer?" And he wasn't in the green room. He's like, "Oh, he's probably out back." So we just like walked out to the trailer and knocked on his trailer door, and he invited us in, and we watched Flight of the Conchords. He saw my album, and it was like we spent like half an hour in his trailer with him. It was pretty
That's
cool.
awesome.
So that's a little story. But moving on quickly, we got
It was Lazy Eye.
Lazy Eye.
Yep.
Great song. Michelle Branch, number 2.
That's nice.
She was my first
She's a musical crush.
musical crush.
Yes.
100%.
That was the.
No, that's Vanessa Carlton.
Thank you.
Vanessa-
I was thinking the same thing. Same thing.
Don't worry,
Culture
I'm immune to that. I'm immune to that by
Michelle
now.
Branch
It's 'cause
is-
it's
They came out at the
all now.
same time.
Michelle Branch is.
Yeah, they did.
You're everywhere. To
Okay,
me.
yeah.
Also.
I actually don't know.
There's another
Breathe.
song. Breathe. Oh. If I just.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's so
And
good.
my number 1 favorite artist of all time is KT Tunstall.
Oh, wow.
Is that another
Scottish
person?
Big brass
musician.
horse in a cherry tree said, "Oh no, oh no, no, no." I said, "Oh,
Oh, yeah.
you're not the one for me."
Her specifically her album Drastic Fantastic is
Wait, what was that?
there's no vowel in the second letter, so Drastic
I
Fantastic.
thought you said Jurassic Fantastic.
But she has like
Welcome to
she has a
KT
really
Tunstall.
good range. She's one of those that like is like a one man or one woman band.
She like was one of the first people to become popular using a loop pedal.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And she's
Loop
super
music.
Scottish, which I love.
Real good.
I wouldn't have
but yeah.
suspected that.
Yeah.
Do you have an honorable mention on that list?
I do. Jack Johnson
There we go. Jack Johnson's a great one.
Jack Johnson.
helped
Yeah.
me get through all my heartbreaks.
I was gonna say
Yeah.
all those Sunday banana pancakes.
Yep.
Some of my first songs that I wrote were very like he does this acoustic percussion thing. And a lot of my first songs were just like the, where you're hitting the guitar
Yep.
too. Like,
Oh yeah.
yeah.
John
Like,
Mayer,
yeah.
very Jack Johnson-y. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So that's my list.
Good list, sir. Good, very good list.
Again, feel free to just drop in as much as you can if you forget an artist. or
Tom
something
Petty,
like
Prince,
that.
Michael Jackson.
Do you
What
want
was
to?
it?
Yeah.
Tom Waits?
Tom Waits.
Okay, yeah.
He has a great
remembered.
song called "Clap Hands" that I'm still obsessed with to this day. But Michael Jackson went through such a big phase that I learned how to moonwalk. I learned how to do all that, and I did the entire Billie Jean dance for my 8th grade talent show.
I feel like you're going to hate me, but I don't really like Michael Jackson.
I'm not gonna hate you. I'll just despise
But-
you and never relate to you on anything ever
So,
again.
so for me,
That's I need to take a minute right now because I've never heard anybody say that.
well, I mean, honestly, again,
No, it's not a judgment. I really am just like, oh wow, I've never heard anybody say that.
Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
I want to add to that because my main thing is that like my mom fucking loves. She loves the Kings, like Presley. Michael
Oh,
Jackson.
Elvis.
Yeah.
Yes.
She's like, whoever
Yeah.
the king is, like, she's like, oh, you have to know it is the legend. I'm like, okay, that's how she sounds. But she loved Michael Jackson. She would play like the same damn songs or like the mainstream ones, right?
Yeah.
But it wasn't until my like college years I started listening to his other songs.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what made me like him.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why I had to say like, I don't know if you've listened to all of what he has to offer, other than what
I'm
is
gonna
already
make
been
you a
played.
CD. It's gonna be great.
And it's not a matter of like you have to start liking
Mixtape.
it, but just know there's
mixtape.
more than what the mainstream shows.
You want to help me with this?
Oh my God, mixtapes are another thing. Like, you used to have to like listen to the radio and like, okay, record. Oh, they're done. Unrecord. I've made Bonnie, even my wife, mixtapes. I mean, it is just like the ultimate like.
See, when I got to high school, by the time I was making mixtapes, iTunes had come out.
I was gonna make CDs.
I did do mixtapes though in my garage, and I would make my own radio shows where I talked
Nice.
and was a disc jockey. Anyway, I had all my video games taken away from me, so that's what I did. And I didn't
Oh, no,
perform well
Corey.
in school, guys. It's okay. But
But he performs.
I
well
used to
now.
I used to like pride myself in finding the up and coming artists on iTunes when it used to be
Yeah.
a lot easier. And I would make all these mixtapes, and I was like the shit because like 3 weeks later that song would be heard on the radio everywhere. And I was
Will
like,
I am
Who called
what's
it?
up? Reliant
C
K.
Money.
Lion K.
Reliant K.
DJ C Money.
You know
Right.
it. But that's something I
Yeah.
did with my wife is I would make her mixtapes all the time. And then I'd like sneak myself singing a song in the end after like 4 minutes of silence.
So I do want to ask
The hidden track.
if you do. I don't know. To me, I think I still have them. If you have a guilty pleasure,
Yes.
if there's such thing, because I
Well-
mean, some people are like they're prideful about it, But then some people are like, I will never tell.
I don't know if I have a guilty pleasure, but I do have. I don't like come out and say it at parties.
He just tells it to me.
Yeah.
He whispers
And now you're
rap
going to tell
lyrics in my ears.
everyone on
I
microphone,
love the
recorded
music
forever.
that backed up Hitler during his speeches.
What?
I'm just kidding.
Oh my God.
I'm just kidding.
There's some waveform silence where we all went, what the
None
fuck
of us
in our
were
brain?
prepared for that.
We went from you drowning babies
Guys,
to
your
like
faces were. I wish I filmed that. No, God, no.
Oh my
Wait, so-
God.
Well, I mean, were they shocked? Because me, I was just like,
I knew I was.
"Excuse
Yeah, I
me?"
wasn't. Yeah, I
Yeah,
think you were
Well, no, because
serious.
my brain was trying.
You
It was
could've-
trying to
you-
go.
it was like
Was
that-
it classical? Was it? What? I wonder which one. Like,
Have you ever like started a process on your
It's
computer
Battleship Potemkin.
and it like is loading and then just stops for a second and then loads the rest of the way really quick?
Yeah.
That was your faces. It was just kind of like a, you were ready to respond and then went, wait, he said Hitler? Anyway,
So, do you
what was
have
the question?
guilty pleasures? Guilty pleasures.
I don't want to go first
Okay, I'll go.
because I don't know off the top of my head.
I'll go. And so this again coincides of like in your life you go through phases and shit like that, blah blah blah. But I mean, it's more of like this is when I was playing Spider-Man the movie game 2.
skip to the end, Tom.
Tobey Maguire.
Crier. Call him by his name, Toby McCryer.
Tobey Maguire
Crier.
and whipping through towns. And I'm telling you right now, Spider-Man 2 movie game, one of the goddamn missions is to be on time for your dates with Mary Jane. And throughout the entire time you hear Tobey Maguire's like, oh man, I can't let her down. I'm like, you can't let her down. You can't let her down. And I was listening to Metamorphosis by Hilary Duff the entire gameplay.
Yes.
That shit, I listened to that.
I thought you were gonna say Nickelback, but it's cool.
You know, I listened to Nickelback too. Man, Josh.
Here's the thing. We all listened to Nickelback, guys.
we all did.
We all
Don't worry about it.
What did Nickelback
Actually-
ever do to you?
I did.
They were
showed me
really
a
mean to
photograph.
their audiences.
Were they?
Oh.
Yeah, he's a dick.
Chad Kroger?
Yeah.
I didn't. I
Grr.
actually never knew why there was so much hate for them. I had only heard like one song and I was like, this is kind of grating.
I mean, we've been a lot
You were about
harder
me
on
for
them than we should
Spider-Man.
have been because there's been a lot of people who've been dicks at concerts and we've been like, they're still the king. But
It's like a meme before memes.
yeah, pretty much.
But I mean, you had
We
Hero.
can put that one to bed
Hero.
here, though. At
Yeah,
Nerd on
Hero.
First. No more hate on Nickelback, guys.
Hero was great for Spider-Man. The
Yeah.
moment you see him jump and then go
Nickelback.
between two taxis,
Yep.
and here comes a hero. Oh, anyways, but fucking Hilary Duff, Metamorphosis. That was my thing. Every time it's
For the
on.
second there, you said, "Here comes my hero." I thought you were about to say your guilty pleasure was Foo Fighters, and I was like, "There's nothing
No,
guilty
there's
about that.
nothing, there's nothing.
They're pretty much the greatest band
Oh, yeah,
alive
of
right
course.
now."
Like, I mean, you know. But anyways,
Dave, I'll go on record saying Dave Grohl is the most talented musician of our time.
I was
Yes,
also gonna say
I
he's
agree
probably like the most rock star guy in the world.
Yeah.
But Hilary Duff, and I will if Come Clean comes on the radio or is ever, I will like you do not turn that shit off. You must sing the whole thing in its entirety. Hilary Duff was my like bae.
My guilty pleasure
One of them
was
for volumes.
I went through this really dark phase where all that I listened to was Britney Spears.
That's not
I
dark.
was in
That's
junior
actually quite
high.
bright.
I was in junior high, and no, it was. I went to a concert.
You see that red leather?
But later on in life, I went, see, I wasn't that. That's not really a guilty pleasure. I like her songs.
I mean,
but I remember that being a phase where it was like that's all I did was listen to Britney Spears. I had posters. I was
having man feelings
Yeah,
because I was like toxic. She wears that glitter suit. I was like, my God.
that's one cover idea I've always thought would.
And
be
then she
fun
said,
was
"Hit me, baby, one more
toxic.
time." It's like it's not that way you think about it. It's the good way. But geez, because my sister listened to it. My sister's 4 years
Yeah.
older than me, and so I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah, totally.
"You enjoy her, I'll enjoy her." But
Yeah, totally.
But
Yeah.
does that mean I know all her songs? Probably.
Totally.
Most likely.
Probably. Caitlin,
I guess.
Christina Aguilera. Let's be honest.
No.
Jessica Simpson. Let's be honest.
Like radio mainstream music, like the radio mainstream pop where they're playing like the top 10, top 20 songs constantly.
Uh-huh.
I've noticed that whenever people get in the car and that's playing, I'll turn it down very quickly. I'm like, no, I don't want people to know I'm listening to this. What? But like I listen to it for the literally only
So
because
your
I
guilty
know
pleasure
it's
is popular music?
yes,
Yeah.
mainly because I only listen to it because I want
It's
it.
the hot coffee, right? It's too
I'm
cold.
sorry.
Hipster shit. Sorry.
Fucking hipster.
I can't listen to popular stuff because everybody's listening to it.
No.
It's not that. I'm
contrarian.
like, I have no interest in it.
Yeah.
I don't care
But
about
you
the
do.
music at all. But I know that it's like a pop culture thing that people know. And I'm already like in trouble enough for not knowing like movies and things. And like the radio is always there in the car. So I'm like, well, at least I'll know what the flavor of the week is.
Yeah.
It's the same thing it was last week, but at least I know it.
Yep.
Like,
That's fair.
and they do
I
a
actually
lot
don't
of
listen
like,
to the radio.
well,
At all.
well,
It's Go Girl by Pitbull. We all know.
but also they do a lot of like vocal gymnastics, only like a riff or two. But I started using it as like practice singing in the car.
Yeah.
It's the best place to sing.
And because it's like the
Besides
same
shower.
few songs over and over again, I can learn the lyrics pretty quickly. So it's not something I have to invest outside time in and practice on a song I don't care about.
Could we say that, by the way? If we memorized anything like we memorized music lyrics, we'd all be geniuses.
What?
We can.
Can.
You
Wait,
can.
what
It's
are you
just
Like
saying?
memorizing music lyrics
fun.
is so.
It's
I
not
think,
as fun.
to me. Yeah.
You can do it. It's just not as
But
fun.
my God, like
It hits all the right parts of the brain,
Memorizing lyrics?
music
Ollie?
lyrics, yeah.
as opposed to memorizing like code or memorizing. Like,
Oh yeah,
like
no.
the dictionary.
It's
Which I tried.
it's fun to memorize music.
How far did you get?
Fucking aardvark. AA.
So how would you define guilty pleasure?
I mean, it's something that, like, at the time when you listen to it, you're like, God, if anyone found out I was listening to it. Like, when I was a kid, I fucking had the orange Walkman that slid out, and then, like, I would, like, put it down to volume 1 so no one heard that I was listening to it.
Yeah.
But then when no one's there, put that shit all the way back up. But even that, but now I'm, like, happy about it. But then when you see it and hear it, I'm like, yeah, Tom likes fucking Hilary Duff. I'm like, yeah,
So
that's cool.
I don't know. I think this works. I think this applies. Black Eyed Peas,
Okay.
because I feel like everyone hates them.
They're
I
like the
don't
new
hate
Nickelback.
them.
But I really enjoy their music.
Everybody just hates Will I Am.
Or
I like
Fergie.
Will I Am.
Yeah.
I like Fergie.
I'm
too.
just saying. Everyone else in the band is loved.
Yeah,
Why
and I'm
is
like,
Will I Am
I
bad?
think that's
Well, Fergie
good,
with the national
catchy
anthem.
music, and I don't like her solo stuff, but
Yeah.
like, Black Eyed Peas specifically, I've always liked it.
Based on those like what you just said and
Yeah.
like I guess I don't really have like the Britney Spears thing is just like a phase that I went to that I was like
I was there too. Back
I
then.
like
Everyone
If the
was.
popular kid at
embarrassed
school
by-
walked by and said, like, are you listening to that? Would you be
Yeah.
like,
Yeah,
I mean
wouldn't be
now maybe a
blasting it out of my
surprise that
But I mean,
listen
now we're
to.
adults. Who gives a fuck?
Yeah, I don't really like
Yeah.
there's nothing that I don't
Kaylin does.
I had
actually.
Ariana Grande blasting out of my car the other day.
Here's the
And I was
thing.
like, I don't even care.
I worked at Guitar Center, and I used to be one of those people who was like really concerned about. I was like, oh, I don't want anyone to know about this. It was I forget what it was. I forget the band at the time, but
Weird
this
Al.
guy named Aldo. Shout out to Aldo. He was like, he's the guy who fixed all the guitars and tech. And he was like really into metal and kind of stuff like that. And I was like,
I buy his
this
shoes.
guy, he always knew what he was talking about with music. And one day I was telling him, I was like, I don't like to tell people this, but I listen to this. And he was like, why don't you want to tell people? And I was like, I don't know. It's kind of embarrassing. He's like, do you like it? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, do you enjoy listening to it? Does it bring you joy? And I was like, yeah. He's like, then fuck it. Who
Yeah.
cares? And ever since then, I've been like, yeah, all right, cool.
Yeah.
So I don't necessarily have a guilty pleasure.
When you write, you write.
Yeah, I don't think I have a guilty pleasure band, but I do have bands that I maybe are outside my normal genre that I really love.
Yeah.
Like I love Paramore.
I
More
love
than anything.
Tool. I love Tool and that's way outside
I know my group of friends doesn't really listen to Paramore, but I will blast the shit out of a Paramore album.
Hold on
Any
to
day.
that.
In fact,
note,
one
'cause
of
that
our
will
live
come feature.
videos got
Because I was playing it because I
Yeah.
fucking love Paramore.
Tom, yeah. But like I don't
Haley
think
Williams,
I have
maybe?
anything. I love music, and I don't think
Yeah.
there's anything wrong with liking a specific type of music if you like it, because you
Yeah.
can't help that. You
Well, I
literally
guess-
can't help it.
A more relevant answer maybe is Taylor Swift for me.
But you know what? I really liked her when she was doing country. Like
I liked
Teardrops on my
1980
guitar
I like 1984. Is
1989.
that what it is?
when she was
That's the
born.
year she was born.
That's
I only remember that because this year I was born.
makes more sense.
Little shout
that
out,
album's
side
great.
shout out
Yeah.
for Sigur Rós. I really liked Sigur Rós. They were
Yeah.
great.
Sigur Rós.
Sigur Rós.
I worked on a music video for him.
What?
Yeah, I didn't even know. I was like, do you know them? I'm like, I got a paycheck, and we got shut down.
Oh.
It was out of a mansion out here in LA. Shout out.
Oh.
Should we go around and suggest an artist maybe?
I would
Should
wanna-
we hipster it?
I want to do that after we do favorite song. Because I think that I think
Just
what you talked about.
Just one.
Just one.
What you talked about, Corey, of like, if you like a song and it affects you in a positive way, fuck it. Who gives a shit? And so we're here to give you that suggestion. But that'll be your food for thought at the end of the episode.
Because you can't help what you like.
Yeah.
It's just what it is.
But favorite song?
I'll go first.
Yes.
Because it has been a song that has affected me since I was, I want to say like 4 or 5. I don't know. Whenever it came out. I have a vivid memory of the first time hearing it with my dad at a park in Santa Rosa somewhere. I was very young. It's the same place he lived when he got me into comics. He only lived there for like a year. But same year I found this song and found comics, which is kind of cool. But it is a song that has appeared anytime something positive is happening or anytime I've made a decision on something. It's played on the radio. It's played through the fucking shopping mall I'm at. It's played somewhere. And that song is No Rain by Blind Melon.
Wow.
It is my song that I will, if it's on somewhere, I will sit and listen to the whole thing. I will play it when I need it most. Like, it's not a song I overplay, but I will play it when I'm down or when something's going really great. It's a song I'll listen to. I get very excited anytime it comes on anywhere. I'll stop everything I'm doing to listen to it. So No Rain by Blind Melon is my favorite song of all time. And I found out recently it's actually my sister's favorite song of all time too.
Nice.
Aw.
You guys are so close.
Yeah.
Must be nice.
It is.
She was my constant. We went back and forth between my mom and dad's house, and she was the only thing that was the same.
Oh.
That's a good way of looking at it. Must be nice.
Yeah.
Ali, I see you creating your visual design for your graphics.
It's hard for me to pick this, but
Gun to head.
gun ahead.
John, your babies. Because they're not
It's-
singing this song.
It's everywhere. Shell Branch.
There you go.
Nice.
I feel like that was a gut response, and that should be what I go.
There you go.
Yeah.
I like that.
Same. I every time it's on, I'm listening to it. It makes like when I hear it in a grocery store, like brings a smile to my face.
It'll pick up your whole mood.
Yeah.
Like, it can change a shitty day to like, I'll go home after hearing it in the grocery store.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, I feel great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because not only is it like I can listen to it endlessly, it's like a forever song or whatever, but it also elicits memories of like when I was a teenager.
Because she's
my
everywhere.
First,
to you.
first major like crush that I had on a girl, I guess, like a celebrity girl. So yeah, there's a lot that's sort of built into that. But yeah.
And I mean, the lyrics of the song too. Like, it's not a super happy song.
No, it's not.
It's pretty deep. And like, at least when I was listening to it, I was like, oh, this is how emotions are.
This is like if
Ew.
we go
What is
if we're
this?
going like deep holes, like back when I was a teen, I would often fall asleep listening to Michelle Branch, like on purpose.
Yeah.
Like I would put on her music before I go to bed.
And you want to listen to it when you wake up.
Wake up, my thing would be out of batteries.
That's literally what you say to your true love. It's like, I want you to be the last thing I think about before I go to bed.
Yeah.
Blah blah blah.
And she helped me go to bed.
My favorite song of hers is
I want to be the last thing you see before you die.
Jesus.
And the first thing you see when you
go
get
to
to hell.
Oh my God.
But my
Wow.
favorite song of Michelle Branch is All You Wanted.
All you want, it's good.
That one.
The
breaks
whole
me
Spirit
apart.
Room album
Yeah.
is pretty great.
She breaks my heart.
Yeah.
God.
There's another one too. Sorry, I gotta look it up.
Kaylin,
Someone else got it. I'll look it up.
favorite song, gun to head.
Of like all time?
Yes. I mean, emoji water gun because
It is a hard question, but everybody has answered it, so you have to too.
I mean, it kind of
The-
coincides with like.
Well, the one that keeps popping up in my head is Rachmaninoff in C minor.
Wow.
Very specifically. I don't know what it is about that song, but it just resonates with me a lot.
Interesting.
Rachmaninoff in C minor. I have no other words to put to it than when I heard it, I was like, oh, that song. I get that song. That song and me get along.
That's
There you go.
awesome.
That's all that matters. I mean, that's the whole point. Is it
Yeah.
something that speaks to you specifically?
Yeah.
Goodbye to You. Very, very somber, very sad. And love that song. Michelle Branch.
Josh.
Joshua.
My favorite song is, of course, a Jason Mraz song, and it's not one of his well-known songs. It's called "Song for a Friend,"
Yes.
and that, for some reason,
It's off Mr. A to Z.
I
believe.
which would be probably my desert island CD. If you read the lyrics, if you listen to it, it's like a 7-minute song, and it's just the message of it at the time I needed it. And ever since then, it's been a song that I can put on and just remind me. I love that song.
Interesting. It's interesting because I feel like our favorite songs have different themes.
Yeah.
Like Corey, it's like a very important, like, this is his time of his life kind of thing. And with you, it's kind of like it brings you back to a place. And then I feel like, Kaylin, you picked something that's kind of like intrinsic to like a younger like life. Because you say you're pretty like acquainted with like symphonies and stuff like that earlier.
Yeah,
like a hint of nostalgia, I think is what he's saying. So back when you used to play in symphonies. Or...
It's just like very specifically personal. Because even now, like I feel the same way about the song that I do when I was a kid.
Yeah.
For me, the song that I pick is more of a place of like meditation.
It's the Batman animated theme song.
Nope. But it doesn't necessarily bring my mood up. It just kind of makes me like go to zero, like not happy, not sad. And it makes me just think. And it's Aurorian Dance by Nujabes, and it's like a 6 or 7 minute long song. And there's no lyrics. It's just instrumental.
I like that.
And it literally sounds like something you'd like sleep to if you're like on an island and you're watching like the sunset.
That's awesome.
And it's from I heard it first from Samurai Champloo, and ever since then, like, it's a song that kind of like it makes me look at everything and whether it's good or bad in my life. Like
introspective.
Yeah. It really puts me back inside myself. If anything, it doesn't make me feel great and it doesn't make me feel terrible. But it just allows me to be like, this is my spirit in a way.
I like that.
Yeah.
That reminds me, because you were asking.
No, it's my turn. I'm kidding.
I was going to go back to a previous question where you were talking about driving. If I were going to bring up driving, I mostly listen to meditation music when I'm driving. It's a good place to just...
Because people make decisions.
Because people make decisions.
Yeah.
Keeps you calm, puts you back to zero.
An interesting thing that I don't know. I'm sure other people have done this as well, but also might make my song choice make a little more sense too. Is you guys were all talking about like, oh, what album, what song, and you probably know the names of the artists and bands. In like, I think 5th grade, all through high school, I would know the name of the artist, the album art, and like the track number that I loved. But I
like press the button, but then
I would make a specific point not to know their name, what they looked like, or the name of the song.
Because it was all about just what they came out with. It was the art.
Right. And I wanted to experience it purely from like, because I know they made it with their own specific intent, but it wasn't something where I could sit down with them and like talk to them about how they felt about it. And like, I could only experience it from a very personal lens. So whenever I experienced music, I wanted to experience it in a way that, you know, they're putting it out there for the world. Yeah. So in a way, they're kind of asking you, have your own experiences with our music. Yeah. So in my own mind, I was kind of honoring that by not letting any other aspect of them influence my experience with it.
Because if it's like let's say it's a popular artist and you're like, oh, everybody is liking this, it's #1 or whatever, but you don't know that. And you hear the song and you're like, oh, I don't need to know who the artist is. I'm listening to
what it is for what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And not being...
I can understand that.
Yeah. Because there was also a lot of like when NSYNC and Backstreet Boys were super huge, everyone was like, oh my God, this guy. And oh my God,
I was
that
like,
guy.
oh my God, 98 degrees.
And nothing has changed. That's still happening. It's just not NSYNC or Backstreet.
I know. But
it's not?
Well,
now they're in their
me it
40s.
It's One Direction or Jonas Brothers.
But like, I went the opposite spectrum of that. So like, I would listen to music the same way, but as soon as I found something that spoke to me, I would find the artist because then I know I can relate to the things that they say, and I can find more things for me to listen to, relate to. That's why like the first time I heard Jason Mraz's single, my mom and I were like, we need to find out who that is because it was such an amazing song that I was like, I bet you the rest of his music could speak to me this way, and it 100% did. I love every song he's come out with henceforth. So it's just the opposite end of that spectrum of like taking that experience and what you do with it.
I was still invested in like finding more of their music. Like we would regularly go shopping for CDs or albums or whatever, like records and stuff, because I had vinyls and stuff as well. So we would regularly shop for things, and if I saw they had a new thing out, I'd immediately be excited. But I never wanted to be on mailing lists or like.
Oh yeah,
like if
those are obnoxious.
Yeah, I didn't want to be part of any of that. So like I wanted to keep supporting them and hear more of their work, but I didn't want to get any more
closer.
Yeah, any closer.
Makes sense.
And I don't.
But you did know who the artists were?
I did know the name of the group.
Okay.
And it was only from friends being like, "Oh, they broke off and now they're this other thing." Like
I don't care.
Well, I would like try it out.
And now it's just
but I didn't want to know more about the people behind it. And then over time it just happened because people talk about things.
Of course. Yeah.
But
I think we can wrap up with the last question. Not the last question that's on here, but just
you're talking about an artist you'd like to suggest?
Yeah. That you could suggest to somebody, that one of our listeners, something that they should listen to, not because you think it's the best thing, but something that would add to their repertoire of like music. Because I think, to our points that we've talked about, having an eclectic sense of songs and stuff like that and not being ashamed of what you like just adds to, your own tool belt of who you are and what you can listen to when you are cleaning, when you are driving, when you are playing video games, when you aren't listening to the podcast. Because this should be the soundtrack.
I think you're about to
your
click
life.
to in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
You go first.
For me, honestly, I think it's probably going to be New Jobbies. Like the fact that I had such oh my God, it's an artist that like no one knows about, and like their music is only on MySpace or on Samurai Champloo was huge to me. And then like people started listening to it and finding out. I have like a shirt of it and all that stuff. Like a lot of his music is just combination of classic and hip hop, and it has no lyrics to it at all. And I love that. And I think,
it's like RJD too.
Yeah. Well, I mean, my thing, most artists like Maroon 5 and all that stuff, I love their lyrics. I'm a very big lyrics person, but then this is so different for me. And I feel like if you could just add this where it's kind of like just silence, because there would be times where I would, like in a hot Sacramento day where it's like 110 degrees, I would sit in the back of a truck bed and look at leaves and just listen to the music. And it would just be just invigorating. So I don't know, it like New Jobbies all day. Any album, all of it's good. Model Soul,
Look it up.
Reflections, all of it's great.
Mine's Alan Stone.
Alan Stone.
If you haven't checked him out yet, he is the most funky, soulful white man with giant bifocal glasses and gangly teeth and long blonde hair. Looks like a surfer guy from Santa Cruz, but he has one of the most amazing voices ever. It makes you want to like grab the love of your life's hand. Tom, grab my hand.
Sorry, Dana.
Make you like lean in close and just be like, I'm not wearing hockey pads.
Oh my God.
Let go.
Wow,
There
that
it is.
moment was ruined.
So upset.
There it is. So check out Alan Stone. No, I'm serious though. Alan Stone is fucking phenomenal. He has this one live performance he recorded in his mom's living room. Check it out, because it's the first time I saw him was that, and that's like the perfect gateway into who he is and what he does. I believe the song is called Unaware, but check out like Alan Stone Unaware
Gateway
Living.
band.
Yep. Alan Stone Unaware Living Room, and the video will come up, and it's amazing. I'm gonna play it for you all after this.
Okay.
Let's have a jam session.
Ollie?
I would. This is for artist.
A song that
You want an artist you want to tell someone about?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I would say Katie Tunstall. If you don't know her,
Because
her
actually,
work,
not a lot of. You would think, oh yeah, it's Katie Tunstall,
Yeah.
but that's in our
I feel
wheelhouse.
very hipsterish in that sense.
I'm not familiar.
Where
I'm very familiar.
she's probably out of all the music that I listen to, I think I'm the most familiar with her personal life or whatever. Like that I've
the artist
that I've followed and like along the years or whatever. And she was like indie, and then she kind of got her big studio album, Drastic Fantastic, and it was like very like hips, like very poppy and very loud, and it had some like smokehouse kind of stuff. So she explored a lot of stuff, and then I think at a certain point, like her father passed away or something, and she got divorced or like some combination, and then you could like tell that in the next album that she had. And then she had like a resurgence.
Who hurt you?
What's that?
Just listening, going, who hurt you?
Who hurt you?
That's how I felt
And you
about
look at
Adele.
it, You're like,
Adele.
John Mayer's Continuum. I was just like,
Adele.
who hurt
Oh
you?
God!
Who hurt you, John?
Well, I mean, Adele, hello, is just like,
Yeah.
I miss someone I don't
Every
even know.
time Adele comes on the radio, Bonnie goes, "Fucking Adele."
And then she
Do you
had
want me
like
to change
this
it? No.
resurgence.
Just-
So you can follow like her journey, and she has incredible music and highly recommended.
Sorry, I wanted
It's
to
kind of
drop.
like indie rock country-ish.
I wanted to drop another female artist that I kind of fell in love with, was Ingrid Michaelson.
Yeah.
Yes.
She was a cutie, and I love you and I.
I mean, none of us said Beyonce because that's a given.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
I mean,
Don't be mad, Beyonce.
Yeah, because I
episode will be over
love
immediately.
Beyonce.
Beyonce is too perfect for
Wrong. There's no such thing as too perfect. That's what someone said. They didn't like Michael Bublé because he sings too well.
Oh my God, Michael Bublé!
Someone said that once. They go, I don't like him because he sings too well. And I went, fuck you.
I wish everybody could see the face you just made.
He just did the Hitler thing to us. That was his face.
that's your, he sings too well. So I don't take that. I disregard that as a qualm.
Shh. Don't speak.
No doubt.
I love No Doubt.
Oh, no doubt.
I have the biggest crush on 90s Gwen, by the way. I just want to throw that out there.
Doesn't.
I mean, she
Everybody.
hasn't aged a day.
No, but specifically 90s Gwen.
But that's okay.
yeah.
Oh, shout out to
What?
Garbage.
That I don't have a
Oh
crush
my
on
God, garbage!
90s
Pokemon?
Gwen.
That's okay. Because
the
that's more
the
for me.
Pokemon.
That's
That's
more
true.
Gwen for me.
Trubish?
Garbage is a
We do have to share Jason Momoa, though.
kind of an anomaly of a band, right?
fine.
Because it was all these producers that came together.
I don't know garbage.
You don't know Garbage?
Nope. I know no garbage.
Garbage is great.
Yeah.
I actually don't know garbage.
9 Inch
either.
Nails?
We
Oh my
took
God.
on a really big topic.
Yeah.
I know
You
trash.
really well.
Nine
I feel
Inch
like-
Nails, yes.
I feel like
Thank
you
you.
might like Garbage.
I probably would.
He means trash.
I like
You look like
literal
a panda.
trash. So
You look like a
I-
trash panda.
I have said many a time I am a literal trash panda.
Yeah.
So, Kaylin,
I rummage in garbage.
who would
for
you
fun.
recommend?
What?
Recommendations.
Imogen
Like
Heap.
There you go.
Okay.
Perfect.
Yep.
Joshua?
Trashy. Well, I mean, here's the thing: is it's like I go to Jason Mraz, but he's not. If I had to pick something that I know people probably aren't going to
That's
know,
what it says not many people may know about.
so I would say there's two because they're both very small,
Damn.
and I wish they were bigger. Ernie Halter
And Corey Powers.
and Corey Pat and Joshua Sturt.
Exactly. I thought you were going to say the two of us. I was like, nice. Nice plug.
Plug my own music.
Nice. Get in the Java. Yeah.
Plug my own music.
Who was
It's
it?
on
The two?
Spotify
Very
now.
cool.
Ernie Halter and Levi Kreis.
Okay.
Incredible. If I had to put like something on it, it'd be soul. I love soul. Like I wish that I was a better guitar player, but the biggest compliment that I've ever gotten for my album was that it was kind of like acoustic soul, and I was like, well, at least tried. But these guys, Ernie Halter is amazing. I would say check him out. Any of his albums, really.
I don't know
And-
why hearing those names reminded me of Elvis Costello.
Well, I mean, they're not particularly like them,
No.
but
I
they
don't
have
know why
interesting names.
I do have one more that Tom
that we would
I
be
actually have one
we
more
would
as
be
well.
remiss to not.
Lil Dicky.
Lil Dicky.
What?
But also,
Lil Dicky.
But also Bo Burnham.
Well, everyone knows Bo Burnham though.
Yeah.
Lil Dicky, his videos he's a comedic rapper who probably has the best flow out of just rappers in general that I've ever heard in my entire life.
He's good.
He's fantastic. So check him out. Check out his
And
videos.
he's funny.
He's funny as fuck.
I'm gonna do an honorable shout out to Weird Al because
No, everyone
I grew
knows
up
about
on-
Weird Al, though.
No. I thought we were doing like a minor gush.
No, I just meant this is the one more
Oh,
person I
part
want
of
people
this?
to know
Okay.
about. But yeah, Weird Al's
Take it-
great. Apparently, he's one of the
My-
nicest people in the world, by the way.
That's what I've heard.
My other little thing for who to recommend that people probably haven't heard of is Fake Type, and I only found them because Spotify recommended them based on like
I love that
one
Stuff you listen
happens.
to.
thing, and all of their music is like it's like very happy, bouncy rap,
Easy.
Japanese rap,
Okay.
and I love it,
Love it.
so much.
Go ahead, Josh.
ELO.
Yes, ELO.
I will help you.
Yes.
Atmosphere for hip hop. out there.
Yes.
Atmosphere. Oh god, I
Do you
love
know Music
Atmosphere.
Box?
What, music?
It's a song called Music Box. I won't explain to you what it is. It's a box
Oh my god.
that if you wind up, it'll play music.
Okay, real talk. I didn't know what the fuck you guys are talking about. What the fuck is Music Box?
Josh. gosh, you printed out the picture of you and I from Rage 2.
Yep.
E3.
Wow.
Anyway,
No, they
great
printed it out.
content. Great content. I'm so glad so many people
Sorry.
can see that, Caitlin.
I am so sorry. we can just take that
for
out.
hip hop too.
Yeah.
Oasis.
Bo Barnum, you said?
Bo Burnham.
Burnham. Don't know who it is, but it reminded me of Bo Bice. Have you guys heard of him?
Yeah, of course.
I have.
So he
Obi
is the
Trice?
only person he is only the only artist and song, The Real Thing, that is a broken song for me. That there was experiences around that song
You can't listen to it
that
again.
I can't listen to it anymore.
Yeah.
Wow.
There are some songs like
Wow.
that. Like
I
Hey There
need to-
Delilah.
that's like a
I
whole
actually get
different category.
angry when that song comes on now. Hey There Delilah, what's it like? Maybe visit her. I don't know. Then you'll know what it's like in New York
You
City.
would have been there 15 times by now.
God damn.
There are actually some artists that I really don't like based on
Experiences.
Like
Yeah,
experience.
We all have.
We
I mean,
call
it's the same
that
with movies.
your
and-
own baggage.
Like I like it.
Yes.
Yeah, it's our own baggage. Like I like
Small
the
enough
artist.
to take
I
on
like
the plane,
song
but
because obviously it was a part of whatever happened. But
I feel complete.
I do feel
Mine's,
well.
mine's Casey and
I mean,
Music
we
is
could always
hard.
talk about this, but as an episode, I feel complete.
I feel complete.
yeah,
I
Music's
do
hard.
feel
But also,
complete.
again,
It's hard.
continue the conversation. Comment, rate, all that stuff. Like,
Yeah,
reach
let us
out.
know.
Reach
Music
the
is
fuck
a-
out, please.
World
Here's what
within
I'll say.
itself with a language we all understand.
you know what? I like to do something a little different on this one, since it's possible. If you are a Spotify member, or I guess you can maybe even be a free one, share your favorite playlist. If you like, build a playlist.
Ollie's
of,
on
like,
there.
your
I'm on
favorite
iTunes
song.
Music, but
Ollie's on Spotify.
That's fine.
though.
Share it either way. We'll
Yeah.
we'll figure it out.
Make it nerd on and then dash your name.
Yeah,
And then we
do
can
that.
find it.
That'd be great.
I do want to do one little,
Share it with us.
little small one. It's because it's a friend of mine. His name's
Yeah.
Evan Donaldson, and his music reminds me of Jimmy Eat World, who mentioned Jimmy
Me.
Eat World. Yeah. And I fucking loved it. And I did one of his music videos.
Oh.
So. And
Awesome.
KJ.
I mean, we can go on for hours about music.
Yeah,
all of us.
we'll be here for the rest of time.
We should do a decades
But yeah, share
episode.
it over. Hit us up
Really
at
for
Twitter.
Patreon.
I just want to shout out the people I did music videos for. That's all.
Yeah.
That's all I'm gonna say.
Oh, then you gotta do
I just want
KJ.
to wrap up my thing, just so they know.
That's it.
Hit us up
Oh, okay, I
on
missed that.
Yes, Ali.
Twitter at Nerd on the Pod. Share your playlist.
yeah.
Share it, and then we'll retweet it.
Well, yeah,
And if
absolutely.
you forget all that, all our social stuff is at nerdon.tv.
yeah,
That's it.
Uh-huh.
Not yet.
Doesn't it reroute?
it goes. It goes.
Oh,
there.
yeah.
Find the flow.
Yeah,
I guess I thought we weren't sharing that link yet, but
it's on our
it does
business
go there.
cards.
It's places.
Yeah.
It happens.
You heard it here, folks, ladies and gentlemen.
Germs.
There you go. You didn't assume. It's great.
Ladies, all you ladies.
But yeah,
Hi, my name's Tom.
cut that part out. As always.
Nerd on.
Ending broadcast.